Hello, Phantomite from Same Great Taste. With tackle fighters, you got rid of the need for subcapital tackle. With capital cap boosters, you negated the ability of subcaps to wage cap warfare against capitals. With the switch from triage carriers to fax, you made the ships so powerful that in a small or medium fight, they essentially end the fight with their presence. With high-angle weapons and long-range heavy fighters, you gave Titans and Supers the ability to easily kill subcaps. When are you going to bring a return of interesting cap and subcap into play?
Yeah, excellent question. I think...
Really good question.
Hello everybody, welcome back. And here with us is yet another fine gentleman, Phantomite. How are you, Phantomite?
I'm very good. I'm very good. It's nice and cool now here after being hot all day.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us.
So we just saw your campaign video with the question you've asked at EVE London last year, if I recall correctly.
Yes, only a few months ago, yes. Yeah, it was a very good time. That's the first CCP event that I've ever attended, and it was amazing. I thought that the world tour made FanFest gigantically more accessible, but I do aim to join everybody in Iceland one day as well.
We hope to see you here. All right, so Phantomite, could we start off by having you kind of introduce yourself to the audience, tell people about how you got into EVE, the things you've done in the past, and what you're doing now.
I got into EVE because a number of years ago, I've been playing for about 13 years, but a number of years ago, I was an avid reader of PC Gamer, and they had I believe it was 5-page article about the ubiquitous Seraph infiltration and theft. And for that kind of story to be able to happen just between the players in a game is one of the greatest things I've ever heard of in my entire life, even down to this day after having played for 13 years. So I signed up. It was also about the same time I got my very first job as well. So there we go. I've got a brand new computer. I've got a brand new little bit of disposable income. I'm going to play my first MMO, and I'm only going to play the cool one that's possible to generate stories. So sign up for EVE Online, and my goal in EVE Online is to become the galaxy's greatest hauler. That dream lasted for about 3 days before I met up with some people and decided that I was going to PvP instead for the rest of my life. Low sec, null sec, back to low sec, back to null sec again, and then a very long stint in low sec. Even at the moment, I do solo, small gang, and medium gang PvP. I've done fleet PvP. I have enjoyed the use of capitals, including super capitals. These days, I am enjoying medium rather than very large. But if there were, in my mind, if there were more things to do with large fleets in low sec, if there were more goals, if there were more objectives, then I'm sure I could be tempted back into that play style as well. I enjoy having a little bit more control over, just piloting a ship under somebody else's command. I like to have my finger in that pie as well. I like it.
So can I ask what killed the world's greatest holler dream?
I was a member of the PC Gamer forum, the forum of the magazine, and a couple of people on there were playing EVE Online. So, I started looking at hauling in the first couple of days, and then I thought, let's meet up with these people. They've been playing a few months longer than me. Let's see if they can give me any advice. Joined up with them, and PvP was the name of the game. It was exciting. I would. There was at least 3 months that passed before I knew that D-scan existed. And I would just warp from belt to belt on the off chance of finding somebody in there. I think everybody has started out doing things that later on turn out to be a little bit hilarious.
Yes, absolutely. So can you tell the viewers a little bit about why you're running for CSM and what you think makes you a solid candidate to vote for?
Perhaps, I for a number of years, I've had strong feelings about the right way to do things in this game. Why now? I feel like we are at the tail end of a long time of stagnation, particularly in nullsec and lowsec. I am a lowsec candidate, but the kind of things that I want to see changed in the game have far-reaching effects on both low null and with potential capital and citadel changes that I'd really like to see, wormhole space as well. I am running because I've been watching for the last 4 years, and it's not meeting my expectations. I don't want to wait another year when I've just seen 4 of them go past without the game really energizing players to go to the epic war that is shown in the trailers. And so it's my turn to have a go at it, my turn with my ideas. I don't think that iteration is going to solve any of the biggest problems in the game anymore. I think that 4 years of iterating haven't changed anything. I think it's time for another big revolution with a number of mechanics in the game.
Do you have an idea of what that big revolution might look like?
Most famously, with that question that has become part of my identity at EVE London, I feel like capital ships are starting to move into what I'm looking for, which is that they should be incredibly powerful, but they should require a notable support fleet to be that powerful, which I want capitals to increase the depth of gameplay, not just the raw power of gameplay. I want the smartest people to be able to get tremendous power out of them, and I want people who are not supporting them properly to get no power out of them. Beyond that, I don't think it's particularly revolutionary for me to say that citadel proliferation is out of control, and we need a smart way to solve that. And I would very much like to see an equal replacement to the conflict that passive moons used to create. It may not be, it might be passive moons again, it might not be passive moons, it might be something else. There's definitely tons of creativity in the potential CSM pool and at CCP to invent something that will give that level of vicious conflict back to null and low.
All right, so to give you my favorite question, you get this magical dev pass that I've been talking about that doesn't exist. Please, everybody forget about that. I've talked about this afterwards, where CCP will make any change for you that you wish. What would that change be and why?
It would straight up be going back to passive moons, because that's the quickest and easiest way to bring back that type of constant fleet warfare. It would energize low and null. It would be another reason that null currently lacks to spread out. It would be one more item to encourage mega blocks to take a bunch more regions rather than just all camp within one single small region where they are all it's perfectly viable for them to just stay under a very, very tiny amount of space. That would be brilliant.
Okay. And to talk about that seminal moment that you had that you've been using for your advertisements there, what do you think, what mechanical changes could CCP make in the short term that would help to drive that towards fruition?
In the short term, aside from passive moons or something that's equal to passive moons, I think that greatly, the resource depletion is very cool for encouraging people to spread out a bit and go and get the resources in the more empty regions. I think that needs to be extended to all uses of nullsec. I think that, it would be a really good idea if you needed to travel a bit further so that you weren't overcrowding the ratting anomalies and things like that. Spread out, make the umbrella spread thinner, make the fringes of space more attackable. That's what CCP could do. They could continue along the path that has started with resource scarcity.
Okay. And in terms of that cap subcap interplay, so when you have caps hit the grid and you have subcaps hit the grid, what do you see the roles being of the subcaps even from frigates, battleships, you've got your dreads, carriers, supercarriers.
I feel like the addition of tackle fighters was what is perhaps the most obvious thing to begin with that. Previously, to effectively tackle, your slow carrier that doesn't really go anywhere very fast would need subcaps to provide effective tackle, to go and do the tackling. Whereas by adding those fighters, you just give them a pocket interceptor to begin with, but with that very good change down to afterburners, it's still a pocket tackle cruiser at this stage. That should always have been the job of subs. Subs can do plenty of other things. If not for capital cap boosters, subs would have great defense work to do to screen capitals from being neutered by subcaps. I also feel that I mean, obviously, I think everybody is happy a few months ago when high angle weapons were removed from Titans, but quite frankly, I don't think high angle weapons should have existed at all. I think that there should have been options for subs to Vindy web and paint if you really wanted dreads to do a bit of damage to subs. That would have been fantastic.
All right, and we have just 15 seconds left, it looks like. Are there any last parting words that you'd like to get out?
I know that I am going to be a valuable voice because I have a focused cause that I want to address rather than just a general, I want to help the game.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining us. Best of luck in your campaign.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Phantomite. Before we're gonna part ways, if you can just let our viewers know how they can get in touch with you, where they can find you.
You can visit my website, wispo.us. You can visit my Discord. There's a link to that on my website. I'm available in-game. You can mail me. You can convo me. I'm on pretty much every evening. And I'm ready to talk to anybody one-on-one or in a group.
All right, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Phantomite. Phantomite, thanks again for coming back.
Thank you.
Pleasure welcoming you here. We're gonna be moving to another candidate, Mr. Loroseko Cross. Just a moment.